Welcome to this new feature showcase. This is the number 6. As always, the session is recorded and will be shared with you automatically after the end of the webinar. Today, we will show you how to take the most of a brand new group of designers components that is called the search block. If you have any questions, you can use the questions section of GoToWebinar. We will try to answer these questions at the end of the meeting. What can I say else? Well, nothing. Let's start with the agenda. So first, a short introduction. What is the search block? And then many use cases you will be able to tackle with the search block. Such as parameter-based search, many filters directly available under a search bar to find anything fast. Step-by-step workflow, another way to access the right content as fast as possible. A third example, third use case, which is the automatically feeded product or profile page based on a template. Very interesting use case. And then how to build related links in the reader with the search block with this new component. And at the end, in the reader as well, how to build a unique search bar to search both in the current document or in the whole portal with just one bar. One search bar and no need to build another one. At the end, question and answer sessions, and let's start. It should be okay now. Okay, so today we introduced a brand new component group that has been released 2 months ago, I guess. Component groups that will help you to build search-based user experience. Search block is a group of components that is available in all the designer page. That means that it is now possible not only in search page, but in any kind of page that you could design, you will be able to use search component like result set, filters, search bar, and so on in any kind of page in Fluid Topics. So first question, why would we like to build search experience? There are many reasons. Definitely, first, because of information overload. Many of our customers' portal contain thousands of documents, sometimes making it challenging to find what you need as an end user. Another good reason, according to us, is that there are many diverse user needs. Your audience is diverse. You have some users that prefer keyword search. You have other users that like to explore the content through structured taxonomy, for instance. And most of the users may switch between the two. So definitely, why should we force any usage? I don't see any good reason to do that. The tailored access, it's exactly the same way. Many ways to access to the content, not limited to a search bar or taxonomy browsing. And the last example that I have in mind is to manage change. Very often, Fluid Topics replaces an existing system. That means that your user have already some habits to find the content that they used to find. So once again, it's always possible to propose an alternative to the, let's say, usual way of finding content in Fluid Topics using mainly the search bar. If you want to build a user interface or a specific custom page that reproduce what you had as a look and feel in the legacy, in the old portal that they were using before, it's now clearly possible to add this third way of accessing to the content. Let's dig into the components themselves. The idea here being to show you what is available. So these components are available in the home page, the custom page, the reader, and the header designer. The context of the use of this component has an impact on what can be done with each component. So the behavior is not exactly the same depending on where these components are used. The designer documentation can tell you more, so don't hesitate to access to the designer guide, which is here in the URL. We'll explore more in details now the different components that you have here. It's always in the introduction. Examples come just a little bit later. So the first and certainly the most important component, because it's the one that is mandatory, is the search block. So the search block is a component that you will just drop inside your page. It's the one that is mandatory. Other components like the search bar, the filter, the search results, and so on, will be added inside this component. When users interact with a component inside the search block, the other components inside the search block are updated automatically. It's synchronized. And I will detail two different use contexts inside a page, what can be defined in the search block inside the page or inside the reader. So inside the page, the first example, a page being the home page, a custom page, or the reader. In this context, the search block defines the common parameters linked to the whole page. It includes, for example, what is in the slide, query, the local, which is the language of the content, some preselected filter that you can set, the number of results, and the sort method that you want to apply to this whole block. Selecting add search parameter in the URL enable the interaction through the URL, which will be very, very useful for many examples that we will see a little bit later with Jeremy. But working with this interaction in the URL is something that is really critical for these examples. Second context for the search block, when you work in the reader page, so that means that you will build search experience inside the reader itself. So in this case, it will be possible to set the search scope, which means that do I search inside the current document or in other documents? It's then possible to create the related links with documents that share some specific metadata, which is the contextual part, which is in blue in the screen, or search outside the current document, in which case you will be able to build a search bar directly inside the reader. The next slide talks about the conditional visibility component with the search context. So here again, it's a specific conditional visibility component that cares about what can be defined inside the search context. So you can define the condition in which the block that is inside the conditional visibility appears, such as authentication, language. These ones are not search specific, but also save search list is empty or not, so that you will enable to add to a search the search list to a save search. is the search result empty or not, and so on. This conditional visibility will be used to manage this kind of use case. We have examples in the live part of the feature showcase. The next topic is the search bar. The search bar, when used in a search block, is different from the built-in search bar components that you find in other contexts. It is much more flexible here, but it requires customization. The search bar here in the search block context displays only the search bar without any other elements. That means that we don't include any filter, we don't include the language selector inside the search bar. That has to be defined on your end in the block. You can choose what happens when user press the enter key or selects the search icon to stay in the current page, so that you will use the context to display the result, or it's possible to redirect to another page, which will also be shown in the live part of the feature showcase. The next one, the next component is the action block, always dedicated to the search. So in the action block, we will be able to manage the actions that are linked to search, like copy the URL of the search page to the clipboard, clear filters, load more results, save current search, and so on. You see the different values that are available here. So defining this action block allows to create actions inside the search block. And there are still other components. I will talk a little bit more about these ones, and we will very soon switch to the examples, live examples. So these other components are, for instance, the live and custom search. These are components that you may use to develop custom components using JavaScript, CSS, and HTML in live mode when you are developing the components, or custom when the development is ready, and then you can start working with this custom component. The way they work is quite identical to the custom and live legacy component, let's say, but with this specific search component, you will have access to the search context variables. That means that you will be able to interact using custom JavaScript with the search context. And that's also absolutely powerful. That's the end. Well, a word about the filters. Nothing specific to say. They work the same way than in the search page. So you will find things that you already know for most of you, of course. At the end of the intro, I will start with one specific example that I have called the parameter-based search. So I have to switch to another screen and stop presenting with PowerPoint. So it will maybe take a few seconds. And here we are. Here is an example that is used by one of our customers. The portal is not public, but the example is really interesting to discover. So the idea here, JC Deco is a manufacturer of urban, how to say that? Mobilier urbain in French, like abribus and not free floating, but bikes and all these kind of things. They have
urban furniture, maybe. I'm not sure.
Urban furniture, yes. Thank you, Jeremy.
You're welcome.
Thank you very much. Urban furnitures and other things like that dedicated to cities. And you see that inside this portal, we have almost 40,000 content. And the idea is here for a technician to access any kind of content among these very quickly using several filters that are displayed just below the search bar. So for instance, you can choose the city. I will start by Lyon, of course, because it's the city where we live. And just selecting this filter, I see that I only have 500 results. And now I can filter a little bit more and select, for instance, Vélo. And then I see my results are displayed directly here. This first example, I will just clear the filters. I start again here, and I will not select Lyon, but I said Dublin. Dublin is here in the list, so it's something that can be really done fast. With Dublin, less than 400 results, and then I see that the family filter is dynamically reduced to what is only available in Dublin, and then I can choose this one. And here, my content is directly accessible here. A third example, another city. I have Göteborg in Sweden here, and I see that in Sweden, a lot of bikes again. So here is a very interesting example in which you see that it's possible to use taxonomies, filters that are available here that are dynamically fed by the real content. At the opposite, if I want to choose here only the bikes, I see that I have less results, and now the city is fed only by the city in which I find bike related content. So everything is dynamic, and it's possible in 2, 3, 4 clicks maximum to access to the right content. So this is what I call the parametric search, parameter-based search, which is really, really efficient. That's the end of my example. I will let Jeremy present the other examples. I have just to find you in my list, Jeremy. It's here, here, and you should be able to present now.
Yeah, waiting for my screen to share. I think it's okay.
It's okay.
Perfect.
It's now.
Thank you, Guillaume, and hi everyone. And it's nice to see some of you again, and welcome to the newcomers. So as usual, I will present some examples on the DroneLift portal, so you are used to it now. And the first example I wanted to show you is more about user experience. So you can provide maybe your users a better way to find what they want by not overwhelming them. A good use case for this, a good solution for this is the wizard. So what do we call a wizard? Is a step-by-step navigation. So I found it really interesting. I will open it to provide some steps for your users to find what they want. So here it is. We have a little title here, and then it's made of tabs. So you maybe are used to this component. It's an out-of-box product component. And in each tab, we will provide some filters. So for instance, I can select the developer since I'm interested in this kind of audience. You see the results are automatically updated here. And I will switch to the drone type then, maybe for 2 drone types, the food shipper and heavy shipper. As you can see, on the top right corner, we have the selected filters that are displayed, so we can at any time delete one on another. So if I switch from another tab and, oh no, I didn't want the food shipper, I will delete this one. It's now updated. I can maybe focus on the developer guide or whatever. And we can switch from language or even period or any filters you already maybe know. And what is interesting is that in the meantime, you can see maybe the best suggestions. So my choice was to provide 5 examples, 5 best results with the search results. And you can even type any keyword you want. So for instance, I can type API. I now got 20 results. And even check this checkbox, the search in document titles only. And as you can see here, I got 1 result, only 1 document, the API reference guide. And let's say I uncheck this. I now have 20 results. Maybe I want to see more than the 5 results. It's not what I was looking for. So you have this button, the Browse All button. I will open it in a new tab. And as you can see, I'm now on the search page with the same filters we had before. And last thing, you see this now focus on this little cat. I know it's really cute, but sometimes he can be maybe sad because if now I'm looking for recent results, so let's say I want the less than a week document, you can see that the cat is now unhappy because I got 0 results. Maybe a good use case to have a mascot or whatever if you have some. And I will show you how it looks like in the designer. So I didn't tell you, but it's a custom page. Guillaume told you can use the search block everywhere. So I chose the custom page, but you can do it on the home page if you want your users to be able to find the result this way right in the home page. So nothing fancy here. We have, we will begin with, in the DOM tree, I will highlight this, the search block, because as Guillaume told you, it all begins with the search block component, which is the main one. And if you don't drop these components, you cannot drop anything within it. So in this search block, we have a title, the selected filters, nothing fancy, and then the tabs. So once again, it's a classic component. Let's see in the basic ones. So it's an horizontal tabs component. It's just about CSS here to customize the look and feel so it looks like arrows. And then in each tab, we have a filter. Just a quick highlight on the filter. It's a detail, but in the rules, I chose to display known the header because I don't want it to repeat the title I already have in the tab. So I will hide it. And then you can just put any filters here. And here we have another block with the search bar. And when we search on this search bar, we want to stay on the current page. So I chose this option. So it will update this search results, which I put it here. And you will tell me, okay, but how do you choose to display only 5 results? No, it's not on the search results. It's in the search block component containing the search results. So I will go back to my search block. And as you can see here, the results are set to be 5 results page size. So that's why I got my 5 best suggestions. And what is interesting too is the no results component here. It's an out-of-box product component, but I chose to display within it not only a text, no results found, but I want to help the user to maybe start a new search from scratch. So I added a little button here, which is an action block. As Guillaume told you before, you can select the action you want, and this action block is made to clear filters. Within it, I just put a button. And the number of results, of course, is a result count component. And the browse all button is an action block too, but this one is meant to search, but we want to redirect to the search page, because here you can select any page you want. So it will just redirect to the classic search page you already know, and we can browse for more results and refine our search with maybe even more filters. And about the little cat, this was meant to show you the visibility component, because this visibility component is set like this. So we have our search results list, which is not empty. And if the search result list is not empty, I want an happy cat, but the other one, as you can see, is meant to be displayed if the search result list is empty. So that's quite powerful. And of course, you have a bunch of rule condition you can add. This was about the search result lists, but you can even maybe provide some filters dedicated to user tags or user roles or whatever. We can really imagine a lot of things to customize the search for the user experience for the search. And last but not least, you can provide a really nice experience on mobile with such wizard, because I mean, we don't have a bunch of results and it's compact. So if I show you how it looks like, maybe here on mobile, I'm on an iPhone, you can see that we have our tags here, and then I can scroll to go to another step, and then I got here all my results. If I got some, I don't have any right now because of the period I chose. So here, and the cat and the number of results. So I mean, you don't have to scroll a lot and you can already see a bunch of results. So that was the first example in tabs mode, but I wanted to show you quite the same, but in collapsible mode. So if I show you the page here, it will look quite the same, but this time I chose to add some scrolling. So it's about, again, it's custom CSS, but with collapsible, which is an out-of-box product component. And the first step is to choose my audience again. So if I select it, I will automatically go to the next step because it's one choice only, radio button. So I will go to the second step. And as you can see, before I didn't have the results and best suggestions, because I mean, I didn't want to show them before even one choice was made. So I'm waiting for one choice to be made by my user, and then I will begin to display some results. Then the same, I can check here, but here I have to check and then manually click to next because it's a checkbox choice, so I can select multiple choice. And then maybe the developer guide, go here, my period, again, you already know the sad cat here. And I can go to the last step, and that's raw text. I put it here to say you've reached the end. So if you didn't have found what you want to find, then go to the search page, quite big call to action. So the user is never lost and he can go to another page. And I will just refresh it and select some things. And as you can see here, if I select the less than a week, I have 0 results. So it's not good, but if I got some results, I'm here, but then, yeah, confetti, because you found some results. And we have our little emoji here that was to show you that you can really customize the way you want with some fancy things, and to see you how it's made behind. Oh, the confetti are here. Well, the difference between the first example and this one is this visibility component, which is wrapping everything here. So how is it made? I have a OR condition here, so I want to weight the selected filter's audience to be not empty, or drone type to be not empty, or document type to be not empty. In other words, I want the user to make a choice for the step 1, 2, or 3. And if he didn't, I will not show any results. I'm waiting for it. And then another cool example is that you can see in my DOM tree here, I got the step 1, step 2, step 3. And then for the 4th and 5th step, I got a visibility component, which ended the 2 last step. And this visibility component is set at the same. I want an audience, a drone type, or a document type to be selected before, because I don't want the user to choose a period or enter a keyword if he didn't select anything before. So you can even customize the steps and the order of the steps depending on what the user made before. And the last step was, in fact, this. And for the confetti, for instance, I got my conditional visibility here. Sorry, it wasn't a good one. And the only rule is that the search result list should be not empty. Then you can add this emoji and add the confetti script here, so it can trigger all this confetti. Woohoo! Okay, so that was the first example. And now for the second one, I wanted to show you something different. I think it's the example most of you want to use. It's, as Guillaume told you before in the summary, the template page. So for the template page, imagine you have a bunch of products you want to display, and you need to create a lot of pages. Problem is, it's not really maintainable, and okay, you can use some shared components to gather the things, the stuff in one place, but it's not really magic. So what you can use now, let's say I will propose you a profile page and not a product page, but it's quite the same. Remember, on DroneLift, we had these tiles here, which correspond to some profiles we want to, and we want to show custom pages behind this. So we have a sender, recipient, maintainer, and developer. If I open the page, I got the dedicated page here, the sender, with some resources dedicated to this profile. But behind the scene, you know that we have a page for the developer, a page for the maintainer, a page for the recipient, and one for the sender. It's quite okay because I only got 4 pages, but still it's not really cool to modify something because I have sometimes to go to the 4th page, and yeah, it's long. So what I propose you with the search block here is 2 pages. The first one, I call it the launching page, and it's not really complicated to do. And then the landing page in which we will arrive. The launching page is just the same tiles than before, but in these pages, I will not put a raw link to the custom page. I will add my search block. So if I go, I'll show you, I got my 4 columns corresponding to the 4 profiles. And in each column, I got my search block component. And this search block, how is it made? I just want to select one filter, the audience, because it's the only difference between them. And the audience for this one, so the metadata key is audience cleaned, it is set to sender. And obviously for the second one, it will be set to, sorry, I wasn't on the good one. Okay, to recipient, and so on. And important thing is that if I click on then an action block, I put it here, it will trigger a search, and it will not stay on the current page, but redirect to a custom page I prepared. And this custom page will be my landing page. Remember, this is the launching page. And when I click on it, I will pass in the URL all the information. And here, all the information correspond to the audience metadata. So if we take a look, I will already show you, you know what, and then it will be better. So I will click on sender and I will go to the landing page. So as you can see, I'm on the landing page. The name is profile page landing. And then in the URL, I got my audience cleaned, which is set to sender because I clicked on sender. But if I go back, if I click on recipient, then the audience cleaned is set to recipient. And as you can see in the content of the page, I got another background color here. If I select now developer here, it will switch to blue. But what is interesting, even more interesting, is these three tiles. And as you can see, I have these results here, but if I switch to, let's say, sender again, the results are not the same anymore because these are the sender results I want, and these are the developer results I want. So how to do this? I will go to the landing page this time. It looks quite the same that in front. And I will begin maybe with these tiles. As you can see in each tile, I got a search block. So a search block here, another one here, another one here. And if I go to the settings, the most important thing here is this checkbox. Add search parameters in URL. You have to tick this because it will now listen to the parameters in the URL. So in my case, the audience cleaned metadata. So this will understand that I'm looking for some results about this audience. And then you can go further in your request. And I decided to show you three examples here. The first one will have a predefined query. So here I want to show some guides for this audience. So it will listen to the current audience, and I will just enter a keyword, the query guide, and I want 4 results by relevance. So I will have 4 results for this audience with the query guide. The second example is we'll listen, of course, to the URL parameters, but this time I want 4 results sorted by the last publication, ft last publication metadata, in descending order, because I want this to be the latest resources for this audience. So I think it's clear. And for the last search block, I added something else. I wanted to show the unstructured documents for this audience especially. So once again, it will listen to the URL parameters, but this time I will add a filter is unstructured to set to true. So it will gather the four unstructured documents for this user. And about the color, which is changing, it's a custom component here. So as Guillaume told you, we can do some code dedicated to the search. And if I go here, I will not detail all the code, but it will listen to my metadata, which is pathing through the URL. And I will get it and add a specific CSS class. So it will be blue or yellow or whatever the profile color. And that's why when I'm changing, it will change, sorry, it will change the color according. And last about this drop down here, it's homemade, but only with product out of box components. It's just a selected filters component. So this is dummy data here, the value 1, value 2, value 3. But as you know, the only selected filter here is the one passing through the URL. So I got the profile name. And then all I did is to add a floating menu with the filter I wanted to show, so the profile filter, and it mimics drop down. So it's all dynamic now, and you just have to select the one you want, and all the results will be updated. And I will go to the last, sorry, because time flies. I will go to the reader for the last two examples. So here is the reader, and I wanted to show you a simple example, the related links. So when you are reading a document, you want maybe to show some other related documents. To do so, you can use the search block again, and I will go to the reader, sorry, this one. So here it is. So first, I got my search block, and in the settings, I want the search scope to be in other documents. And why not? I want to use the content local using the same as the document I'm viewing currently. So I chose this, but I can specify the content local. And then I want to show only book results. So that's quite easy. And then these two metadata here are more interesting because they are contextual. So you have a hint here, a really interesting hint. So you can select contextual to pre-fill the filter with the current document value. So it's really dynamic. If I'm viewing a document corresponding to the sender audience, the sender profile, it will be, the results here will be the same as the current documents. So we will only have audience results, sender results. And same for the document type, it will correspond to the document I'm viewing currently. So with the contextual value. I didn't show you, but it's quite easy. You just have to select your metadata and then to choose contextual. And I want 3 results by relevance. And within this search block, nothing fancy. I just want a search results component. So I will show you again, search block, and within it, the search results. And nothing fancy here. I will just choose my template, and that's all. And the last, but not least, example is the search bar right here. So I can show you already how it looks like. We can choose between the document or everywhere to trigger a search. So first I will show you, I'm in the document currently and I want to find some drone results. So as you can see, it's highlighted and it triggered automatically this searching document, which you already know, I think, and I got all my results here. But now if I want to search for everywhere, I even added something specific for the everywhere option. I can choose some filters. I want here, I don't really care, but I will search for drone again, and it will go to the search page looking for drone. I will go back, and as you can see, you can just switch from one to another. So how it looks like behind the scene, it's just a tabs component again. So I dropped a tab component. Within it, we have 2 tabs. The first one is document, the second is everywhere. And in each corresponding tab content, I will have a search block and a search bar, but they will be the settings will be different. So for instance, for the first one, if I click on document, I want to search in the document for this case. So if I'm looking in this search bar, I will see that the search destination is set to stay on current page. So it will just trigger a search in the current page. But if I go in everywhere, then I got the other search bar, because in reality, you understood, I think, that there are two search bars. I click on it, and then if I look at the settings, this search should redirect to the search page. And that's pretty much all. And the other thing I chose to do is to add a floating menu here in the case of the everywhere search, so we can add some more filters. And you click and it will display the good search bar. So it mimics the fact that you can search in a context or in another context quite easily using product components. And I think that's all, Guillaume, for me.
That's great, Jérémy. Thank you very much. Masterclass. That's the end of the live part of the the examples part of the showcase. I see that we have a few minutes left. There is one question in the tool. The question being, let's try to read it. I think it's for you, Jérémy. From the demo, it looks like you can create different versions of the search page, absolutely, but it will not be called the search page.
Mm-hmm.
You use the custom pages, that's it.
Okay. Okay. I understand your question. So, Denise, actually, it will never be a real search page, as Guillaume told you. It will stay a custom page. You cannot set it as my search page, my current search page. So what you will need to do, I think, is to redirect to this page with the search bar on the home page, and it will mimic the fact that it's your current search page, I guess. Do you agree with me, Guillaume?
Yes, that's what I would do.
So you will put...
It will replace the URL of the search page.
So you will put a search bar on your home page, but not the classic one search bar in the famous search block component. And you will say to this search bar, don't go to the search page when you are looking for something, go to this custom page I want to test right now. I hope it's clear.
I will enable microphones for our attendees so that we can dialogue. That should be more efficient.
There are more questions, I think. So you mentioned that you shouldn't use the conditional visibility for sensitive content. Can you say why? Yes, you are right, Lisa. So it's because it's not really hidden. It will be present in the what we call the DOM, document object model. So if you are smart enough, you can just inspect the code and you can find the information. So you cannot use this one for sensitive data. If it's really sensitive information, it's really a matter of displaying some info or not for user interface purpose only.
It's not a real access right, clearly.
Sorry, I didn't read the question before. Yes, Asma. So I don't know if you understood, but Denise wanted to test search pages. So you can register one search page, another search page, and the third one, but in custom pages. So you can maybe test multiple versions of your search page. And you cannot say this custom page will now be my search page. So the way to mimic that would be to add a search box in your homepage and say to the search box, go to my custom page 1 when you want to display results, or go to my search page 2, my custom page 2, and so on. So, thank you. Okay.
That's should answer the question. Yes.
For sure. So great new functions. We will for sure use this. Cool. One question, not about the search. We can use the collapsible component on the content page for specific data elements. I don't really know this collapsible component.
Yes, collapsible and data. Yes, almost.
Yeah.
Sure. I would read the doc.
We have collapsible in data, but when it comes to content of the topic, it will use a dedicated collapsible feature, but yes, it works actually. So yes, Denise, okay, perfect. Asma, you're welcome. And does the ability to search and get only document level results and not have the topics show in the results exist, or is this being worked on for the future? The ability to search and get only document level results and not have the topics show in the search in the results. So you're talking about the search page? No, I guess no, because it's document.
I think it's the book-oriented search result, which is the ability to display, for instance, FT publication title facet. Then the use case that Denise is talking about is something that is more or less specific to AMD.
Okay.
Because they expect to find books after having searched keywords that are not in the title of the book, for instance. And the only way to display the result is to use the FT publication title metadata. But I can show you once again how to do that, Denise, if needed.
Maybe I didn't understand correctly, but a way could be to add a first search result component and then another one. And
yes,
yeah,
exactly.
It's the case. Okay. So
that's what we want to do. It's the filter result, in fact. Is to display the facet and to change the way the facet is displayed to mimic a search result. The value of this facet that is displayed here. That will be possible to be used in the search block without any issue.
Okay. Then Paul is asking if I have some JavaScript in the custom component, how do I access a metadata value that the user selected in the code? Okay, yeah. So for this one, you will need, maybe Guillaume can read the other questions and I will try to find you an example.
So we cannot.
If there are more questions, I'm looking for you, Paul.
Out of the box. Oh yes, certainly. It's a search in document title only, or filter only the books can be done using several metadata. For instance, you can use a filter which would be FT is book. For instance, if you filter the results using this metadata, FT is book, you will only have the maps available. You have in the documentation, you will certainly find a content that is called FT built-in metadata, if I remember well. I will just check and share my screen, by the way. How can I do that? I can't share my screen. So anyway. In our documentation, just try to find something about built-in metadata.
I will let you finish, or I can answer Paul maybe, as you want.
Answer Paul.
Okay. Then I will share my screen. Okay. So I'm in the search page currently, but this will be the same for a custom page with the search block. I added a custom component. So you said you write your JavaScript here and you want to interact with the selected filters. So I just logged the requests. So this is an object containing everything you want, requests. And this object will contain, especially, so don't look at this one. So the metadata filters, and then I got an array with just one for now, because I have the audience selected to developer here. And you can see that the audience cleaned is set to developer. So after, you can grab this value by navigating in this property metadata filters, and then looking for the audience clean key and so on, or make a loop to select every selected filters and do whatever you want with them. So yeah, remember the request object. You also have the result object, if I'm not mistaken, to play with the results. I hope this answers your question.
It does.
Cool.
I was wondering how to share my home screen. I must change the presenter, so don't worry, Jeremy.
Yeah. What question are you answering? I didn't listen to.
The one coming from Denise about how to filter the results and not display the topics in the result. And I was saying it will certainly be a good idea to use a built-in metadata as a filter, for instance. And in this document, on our documentation, you see all the metadata that you can use, what we call the built-in metadata. And for instance, FT Easebook is a metadata that is attached to any content that allows to filter. So if you add a filter FT Easebook to true, you will only display the results that are books. That's a way to filter this kind of content. That's what we do. That's what we do when we apply the search in document title only, I guess. More or less, something like that. And by the way, Jeremy, with the search block, is it possible to reproduce the search in document title only? What is the
yes.
What is the component that you have used in your example? Because I don't remember.
Simply the search scope.
Okay.
Search scope will just display a checkbox with search in document title only or not if unchecked.
Absolutely.
That's all.
Show.
Well, thank you, Asma. Bye-bye. So you answered Denise, I think she thanked you.
I just want to
show it. Yes.
Find the search. Yes, that's it. So the search scopes allows to display the search in document title only, which is exactly what is done here. If you
yeah, this component is quite simple.
select.
If you drag and drop it, it's already
That's
ready
what
to.
That's what you do with this component.
Pia is asking for the documentation link, but I think you will share it after in the last slides. That's it. And the slides will be sent to all of you.
Yes, absolutely.
So you will have it by the end of the meeting.
And in any case, about the metadata and the built-in metadata, it's this one, Empower metadata with Fluid Topics. And the documentation I was talking about at the beginning of the feature showcase was the designer guide, simply. Designer guide, Fluid Topics designer guide, and you have here everything about the search block, which is somewhere in the design page, design a search result page, and inside the reader, where is the search block? It's definitely when you need to find it that you don't find it. I would say search block, certainly something like this. Okay, right here, inside the components. And you have a lot of information available here.
And I think the best way to understand it is really to play with it and try some settings on the search block directly, because most of the power comes from the search block